Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mustard Sport. My name is Paddy Davitt, Archant's Chief Norwich City football writer. Here to discuss the aftermath of a rather chastening experience, 7-0 defeat at Manchester City over the weekend, and it's raised probably more questions than answers. With me to just click through the main points is Ian Clarke, my esteemed colleague, EDP Evening News columnist, and more importantly, City season to get hold of. Thanks for your time, Ian.
Thanks. No problem at all.
Well, let's get straight into it. I mean, obviously, 2 days on now, the dust has settled a little bit. Everything you've seen, read, heard, what were your impressions?
Grim, I think Paddy sums it up. I mean, I've supported Norwich for 35 years now. Obviously seen some pretty grim days, yeah. A few sevens, but I think for me it was just the capitulation. I mean, I don't think anybody went there expecting us to win. I know we won there last year, but it was obviously a different situation.
Yeah.
And I think I'd predicted 4-0, and if it had been 4-0 with a Arsenal or a Chelsea type performance where there'd been some encouraging aspects,
yeah,
we probably would have come away thinking that's gone, now it's on to West Ham. But for me it was just the annihilation and all those other adjectives you can use, just how poor it was, and we just appeared to cave in, couldn't keep hold of the ball, gave such cheap goals away, didn't get in their faces. I think there were 9 fouls, and I'm not saying that we should go out and kick teams into touch, but you would expect if we really went for it and got in their faces and we gave a few more fouls away, it would give the impression that we were really into it rather than just sitting back and letting them come at us.
And you know as well as I do that going into that match the manager was under pressure. The results haven't gone, despite admittedly they've played quite well in patches, and inevitably that was the main topic post-match. Had the sort of onerous task of having to ask him directly if he felt he was still the right man to take the club forward. Maintained he was, absolutely, was what he said to me, and then everything that he subsequently went on to say didn't convey the impression to me, at least, that he was a man who maybe thought he took the club as far as he could. You draw a parallel with Ian Holloway there when he left Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago, and he just looked like a broken man. But he's realistic to know he's been in the game long enough that it's a results-driven business. The results aren't right at the minute, and he is under pressure. So it's a tough question to ask you, Clarkey. Two-part question. Personal view, is it stay or go for you? And then what do you think the general view is of the Norwich support?
I think from my point of view, stay, because I still think there is something there he can build on.
Yep.
And also, more importantly, is having somebody in place to come in. It's no good just binning him and there being no one to come in.
Yep.
And when you look around at those that are out of a job or those that potentially are in a job and would come, I can't really see too many candidates. Therefore, I think they've got to stick with him. The players have got to step up to the plate. I mean, it's been a lot of stuff about Hughton, understandably.
Yeah.
But the 11 guys plus the subs that came on Saturday, from what I've seen and read and heard, didn't do it. So I think they've got to get themselves together this week.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to be given a bit more time. But 3 massive games coming up: West Ham, Newcastle, Palace. I think if they go the wrong way, particularly the 2 home games,
yeah,
I think it's then a time when the board will have to look.
Yeah.
From a fan's point of view, I think probably split.
Do you?
Yeah. I think fans tend to say more when they want somebody out.
Yeah.
So I guess if you analysed all of the message boards and the Twitter, there'd be more saying out.
Yeah.
But I've spoken to quite a lot who haven't necessarily, tweeted or put messages on,
Yeah.
and now have a similar view that he's got to be given a bit more time. So you could probably do a survey, but I would say roughly from what I pick up, probably half and half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that, because we've actually been out in the fine city earlier today, just canvassing the opinions, and here's a few of the prevailing views.
Chris Hughton out, because he's out of his depth in this league.
I'd like him to stay in. Yeah, definitely, because I don't think they're going to get anyone better to replace Chris Hughton.
Chris Hughton out, definitely. Got no idea.
Well, I think he should stay for the time being, because it's early at the moment, isn't it? I mean, we only need to win a couple of games and we're halfway up, aren't we?
I think, on balance, I'd say Chris Hughton in. I think he's under a lot of pressure at the moment, but I think give him longer.
I think he's had his chance, and I think his style of play doesn't really suit the game style of football that Norwich City should be playing.
I think we should keep him in a bit longer, just see how he goes. I think he should play Redmond now. I think that's where he's going wrong. He needs to play Redmond from the start.
Chris Hughton out is far too negative, and I don't think he's picking the right players, to be honest. So can't want much more than that, can you?
Definitely Chris Hughton should stay. He's a brilliant manager. Everybody in their professional career in football has ups and downs. He's on a down, but he's going to go up.
Okay, well, I mean, as you can see, there's, some are for him, some are against him, but I probably would tend to agree with you there, Clarke. Yeah, I think he will be given West Ham, primarily because leading after that is an international break, so there's a 2-week hiatus there where if it didn't quite go from this weekend, then there's a little bit of a window to act if they feel the need. I want to pick up on one point you said there. I mean, clearly at home this weekend, it's massive that the crowd stay with them. I mean, there's been instances at home, Southampton, and I'm trying to think of the game just before the last one we had at home, Cardiff, where particularly around the substitutions, it was audible, wasn't it? There was a mass kind of reaction in frustration directed at the manager. Do you feel if they got to a poor start at the weekend, how do you think the crowd will play it?
I think it's going to go the same way, Paddy. I mean, you go 1-0 down after 7 minutes. Sure, I should have said 7. After 6 minutes. I've had too many 7 jokes. 1 down after a few minutes, and then things go wrong. I think the crowd will get very impatient very quickly. But sticking with them, I mean, we all get frustrated. The boos, I think it was when Hooper came off, wasn't it? The boos.
And Redburn came off as well, didn't he?
And you get the you don't know what you're doing's ring out. It's understandable. There is the argument that you pay your money and you have your say. But I'm a big one for sticking with the team while the game's in progress. So I think must-win games are when you need 3 points to stay up. But as close as a must-win can be, I think this Saturday is. And it's a lot about the attitude. There's got to be an improvement in terms of application attitude, work rate, and just not letting them come at us. We've got to set the tempo. We've got to get straight out of the blocks. Yeah, and I think it's important to reiterate, and you touched on it there before we went and heard from a few fans, that, and I felt it as well, after that game at Man City, they were so poor that it isn't just about Hughton, and he's the sort of character he will take all the criticism as if to shield his players, but I got the distinct sense there that there's a feeling now that the players are coming in for a little bit of and it is really up to them now to go out and do the business, not just for themselves, for the manager, but for the fans as well. I mean, it's perhaps wrong to pick on anyone, but I mean, Basong, for instance, I thought was fantastic last season. He's not been himself, I don't think, for periods this season, and the one where he just fluffed at it in the second half and went straight to Aguero. I mean, I probably would have finished that, and I'm not a great striker, and we expect more of players like him. 100%, and it's a big day for him as well, isn't it? Absolutely. So, and he is a skipper, and he's got to set the example.
Definitely, Thanks for your time, Clarke.
No problem.
Thanks for your time as well. Obviously, we'll have all the build-up on Mustard in print and on the Archant websites from now till a weekend, which I think, as Clarke has alluded to, is a fairly pivotal moment for Chris Hughton at Norwich City. Thanks for watching.